Hi, hello, welcome to Devon Monk's Works and Worlds. We are on Monday Monk 84. Look at how confident I was in that. I think it might be actually Monday Monk 84. Welcome here. Thank you so much for spending a little time of your week with me. I really appreciate you. I'm going to cover what I usually cover, which is how is writing going, knitting, how's knitting going, and how are things in Monkland. The first two are going to be pretty short. They're both going good. Writing is going good, thank you. I am still making progress on nursery crimes. Again, I hope to wrap it up. Revisions always take longer than I expect. I always think I can get them done in a couple of weeks, and they take at least a month. I know that. And this is a pretty massive revision because I have cut out several characters. I have cut out several plot lines, and so it's really remaking the whole sandcastle after I've kicked it all down. That being said, I am enjoying it, and I think it's a stronger book for this kind of work being put into it. And next on my plate after Nursery Crimes is Wayward Devils, which is book 4 in the Souls of the Road series. I really want to get into that. I'm feeling the need to get back on the route and write some of that with Brogan and Lula. So we'll see how that goes. I will keep you updated. Okay. And also I want to say I am putting quite a bit of effort over into my Patreon. So, I'm doing weekly updates over there and behind the scenes information. And I am releasing those chapters of Nursery Crimes every week. I have cover reveals coming up over there. Ordinary Oregon is going to get some new covers, and the people on Patreon are going to see them first. And I've been putting some energy over there. So if you feel like, hey, I haven't seen you around in other places, I'm adding a little extra energy over there since the Patreon is so new. I want to make sure that the people who have signed up I'll always want to make sure that they're getting their money's worth, but I want to make sure that I'm doing my part over there. So, okay, next is how is knitting going? It's going pretty good. No one's claimed the little bat. I have not gotten the winner to email me about the bat that was given away in September's newsletter, and I have not gotten the winner to reply to the little dinosaur that was given away in the September newsletter. So October's newsletter, if I get it out in time, it's kind of a maybe at this point. This part of the year is getting really busy. But if I can get it out by the end of October, it will have 3 knit toys. That is, if I get the toy that I'm knitting done. We'll see. So that's kind of all up in the air too. I hope to get a little work on that done today, so we'll see how it goes. Okay. And lastly, now that I've covered those two brief subjects, how are things going in Monkland? Things are going pretty well. I have done some outdoor work and some heavy lifting, which was good. It got some things buttoned down that needed to be buttoned down. I still need to pull the garden, and I need to check my carrots and my beets and see if those are ready for harvest. Maybe the carrots, I'm not sure about the beets, I'll have to check. And I need to just lay the beds down, just have them be done for the year and get ready for next year. Also, our crows came back. So I know it, long-term listeners or watchers know this, but during 2020 when COVID hit and everything changed, I decided I wanted to become friends with our neighborhood crows. And I started putting out peanuts, whole in the shell, peanuts for the crows and calling them. And they got used to when I would call, they would come and get peanuts, which was really cool. And then, of course, the blue jays caught on because they're no dummies. They're like, okay, when she calls the crows, we're coming for their peanuts. And blue jays are faster than crows. They're like little darts, whereas crows are kind of like a swooping badminton, crows are like darts. So they always get some of the peanuts, so I always put extra out there for them too. But anyway, we had some specific crows who had the same behavior. Like there's this one crow who always tried to pick up 2 peanuts at a time. And I got to tell you, 2 peanuts don't fit in a crow's mouth. And then they were always hoping for 3. So I haven't seen that crow for this whole summer. And crows move, they're family units. They can go with their family units, or they can move to other crow territory and, kind of like find their mate in that territory. So I'm hoping that our original crow is, our crows are happy. But in springtime we had a new set of crows nest in a tree below our house, not on our property. And they've been hanging around down there, and it's been 2 and then 3, maybe a baby, I'm not sure. And they're a little more standoffish about me and my peanuts. So I've been, offering them to them over the summer, and they would show up every once in a while, or just, land in a tree and stare at the peanuts and stare at me. Um, so I thought, well, if I just keep at it, maybe these crows will think that we're, a friendly place too. And during summer, we saw them less. And I think that's because in summertime, food is plentiful, the weather's good, and when it was hot, I think they were going down near the rivers and ponds and creeks that we have in the area to stay cool, which makes total sense. So the other day, just like a couple days ago, I actually saw the crows in our yard, like two of them, and they were getting worms, which is great, out of the yard. And it was a foggy day, and it was an October cool, and all the leaves are, orange and gold and red, and there's black crows in the green, misty, foggy, wet grass in our yard. And so I thought, well, I'll take them out some peanuts so they remember that we do this. And so I opened the door, and they were all gone, of course, and I did my little crow call and threw out peanuts for them. And as soon as I did, three crows came swooping in just like that, con the whole way, like whoosh, like they were there before the blue jays. They were ready for those peanuts. So, yeah, I think I might have crow friends again if I just keep, doling out the peanuts. I think this little crow family, this little unit of three, are back, or are ready to, be in our yard for a while. And so I'm happy about that because it's fun. I like calling them and seeing them land in the trees and hear them calling out to each other. It's just a good time. I enjoy watching the birds. There was this tiny little bird taking a bath in a puddle. We'd put a tarp down, and the tarp had gathered some fog rain and stuff. And the little bird was like, perfect. It's a puddle just my size. Just about the size of a teacup saucer. This little bird was just having the best bath of his life. And I'm like, oh, that's adorable. So anyway, okay. So things are going good on that level. I am going to try something possibly ill-advised. I have an electric bike. I've talked to you about this. It is a low-end electric bike, which means it doesn't have the most powerful electric motor on it. Can't go much over 20 or 22 miles an hour, which is fast enough on a bike anyway, but tends to lose steam going up hills. That's the part that I find not as much fun with this bike, because one of the reasons I wanted to get an electric bike is so it could help me get up the hills. And this bike does help me get up the hills, but I still have to pedal to help the motor get up the hills. So it's making me exercise, people. But it's making it so I can actually bike all the way up to the hill. I don't have to stop and push the bike up myself, walk alongside it. So it works. It's just, if I ever get another electric bike, I will get one with a stronger electric motor. So I am learning with this lower end bike. It's great on the flats, and it's great on, small hills. And I'm enjoying it. Absolutely. I don't regret my purchase at all. So here's the ill-advised thing I'm going to do. It has a back rack, and it's supposed to be a strong enough back rack that people can sit on it. And so I'm putting a pad and a backrest on it, and probably some, if I can make them attach, some foot pegs or whatever they're called. And I'm going to make it so that somebody could ride behind me for very short distances on a level with the little electric motor. And why am I doing this? Because my sister and I are going to take off in our RV for just a couple days over at a campground. And we're at the bottom of this campground. It's a pretty large campground. And I want to be able to tool around the campground, and I want her to ride on the back if she wants to. I think it'll be ridiculous, the two of us dinking around on an e-bike. I'm sure it'll be quite the sight. Anyway, if it works, I want to just dink around the campground, be able to get around and they're paved paths. So it's paved paths go around. And then outside the campground, just not too far, the campground's kind of in the middle of nowhere. But just there outside the campground are two shops. One is a bait shop that sells all you would need for fishing and, your boating enjoyment and clam digging and that kind of stuff. It also sells jackets and soda and snacks and, the essentials that you might have forgotten, bug spray. It also has handmade pizza. On Fridays or something, on Saturdays, they do handmade pizza and clam chowder. And I thought, we could bike down there and go get ourselves a pizza and bike back. And it'd be faster than walking and kind of fun and dumb. And so, yes, the whole reason I am getting a backseat bike rack is for pizza. Which, yeah, seems like a pretty good reason. I think pizza's a good, motivator. I will let you know if this works. I have looked up the manufacturer specs. No, this bike isn't really built for two adults to be riding it. However, it's absolutely can have two adults riding it for very short amounts of time on level ground. This isn't going to be a permanent do it all the time thing. This is just like a one-off. And if we even get to just tool around the campground area once on the bike, worth it. Totally worth the purchase. So that's my ill-advised adventure I'm going to take with my sister. Hi, sister. And we'll see how that goes. I will report back. I'll let you know if it was a possible thing or an impossible thing and whether we did it or not, regardless of if it was impossible or possible. Yeah, so that's kind of the silly thing I have coming up. Since I have just a couple more minutes, I'm going to pull a tag. Hey, thank you for all you people who told me your favorite odd sounds, like, the sound of rain on pavement and just different sounds that you like. Like I like the sound of heels clicking on hard floors down hallways. That was really fun. So thank you for commenting last week. Okay, series. Series is the little tag that we pulled out of our heart-shaped box. That's a long discussion, so I'm going to make it short. Yes, series. I tend to write in series. I'm not sure if I ever will write a standalone other than Nursery Crimes. I'm pretty sure that's a standalone book, but everything else I write in series. And I like at least 3 books in a series, a trilogy. I do like 6 books. I have also done 5. I've done a couple series. I kind of feel like series starts at 3, but I've done a couple duologies. Right now, the hockey books are duologies, and we're back into hockey season, people. Go Kraken. Anyway, yeah, the hockey books are duology at the moment. I am still trying to get myself together and all of the plotting together for the 3rd in that series. It will at least be 3 books. I'm not sure that it will be more. Like recently, the Broken Magic, which is the Shame and Tarek books, those were a duology forever. And then I added a 3rd book, and so they were a trilogy. And then when I re-released the whole bit, I added a 4th book. So now they're a quartet. I'm not sure if 4 books are quartet, something like that. But I tend to write in series. I tend to write at least 3. Right now, the Age of Steam books, the steampunk books are 3. I will be adding more to that series. More on that when I have news. And yeah, I think why I like series is if I really find some people that I enjoy being with, like the Souls of the Road books, Lula and Gage, on Route 66, I want to see more of their story than a book can cover. As a reader, I like that too. And I think as a writer, that's why I lean that way. And luckily, fantasy and science fiction and really mystery and romance, but in a different way, are built for series. Like urban fantasy is very easy to take the same couple or the same set of people and do a series with them because there's a lot of conflict that happens in urban fantasy, and every book can kind of build on the conflict and bigger and more dangerous things, or higher stakes. And mystery, you can follow a detective, right? You could follow a person with different crimes. And then the fantasy is urban fantasy, kind of the same thing. You can raise the stakes, as you go, fight smaller monsters, fight bigger monsters, fight the biggest monster kind of thing. Romance does series a little differently because the whole idea of a romance is that the two people who you hope will fall in love, and they get to have happily ever after, right? So romance series often will be set in a place where you can have the main couple and then like maybe their friends or their siblings or something like that get their story and their happily ever after. So yeah, I mean, for me, even with romance, I guess with romance, I like to follow that original couple. I've seen a few people manage that where they do happily for nows in a couple books, and then the happily ever after, and then things go wrong and they have a couple more happily for nows, in that you know that they're going to make it, but things are more challenging. And I think that's a really neat mix of how to do tension in romance too. So yeah, I like series. Do you like series? Do you like reading more than one book with the same people, or more than one book in the same setting? I have read some standalones that were pretty spectacular too, so I'm not, dissing on them. But as a writer, I enjoy writing them, and I hope to continue writing them for quite a while. And that's it, people. Thank you so much for being here. I will see you next Monday, which will be very, very close to Halloween. Maybe I'll wear a silly hat, and I will talk to you soon. Have a great week. Bye for now.